It is more necessary to conquer yourself than to conquer a city. Agrippa, the lie you tell yourself is that you're fighting external forces. You blame the economy, the competition, bad luck, or other people. This is the comfortable delusion of the weak. The true enemy isn't out there, it's the weakness within. The undisciplined mind, the fear of discomfort, the addiction to instant gratification. These are the saboteurs that cripple potential and guarantee defeat. Your opponent isn't some faceless corporation, but your own lack of focus. The market downturn isn't your downfall, it's your excuse. Stop projecting your failures onto the world and confront the internal battles you've been avoiding. That voice telling you to quit, to rest, to settle, that's the enemy you must destroy. It whispers sweet nothings of comfort while it picks your pockets and steals your future. You are at war, but the battlefield is not some distant land. It's the 6 inches between your ears. Conquer that territory and the external world will bend to your will. You've been programmed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Society rewards instant gratification and punishes long-term thinking. This is the matrix that keeps you docile and compliant. But true strength lies in the ability to delay gratification, to embrace discomfort, to push beyond your perceived limits. The pain you feel when you force yourself to work harder, to study longer, to face your fears, that's the pain of growth. It's the fire that forges you into something stronger, more resilient, more capable. Don't shy away from it, embrace it. Let it fuel your ambition and harden your resolve. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you surrender ground to the enemy within. Every time you push through the pain, you reclaim that ground and fortify your mental fortress. The choice is yours. Become a slave to your desires or a master of your destiny. The path of least resistance leads to nowhere worth going. The path of relentless self-discipline leads to unimaginable power. Most people are sleepwalking through life, reacting to circumstances rather than creating them. They are tossed about by the winds of fate with no anchor to hold them steady. But you are not like them. You are a warrior of the mind, forged in the crucible of self-discipline. You understand that your thoughts shape your reality, that your actions determine your destiny. You refuse to be a victim of circumstance. You choose to be the architect of your own life. This requires constant vigilance, a relentless commitment to self-improvement. You must challenge your limiting beliefs, confront your fears, and push beyond your comfort zone every single day. It's a lonely path, but it's the only path to true freedom and fulfillment. The world will try to distract you, to tempt you with fleeting pleasures and empty promises. But you must remain focused on your mission, unwavering in your resolve. The rewards are immense: a life of purpose, a mind of steel, and a spirit that cannot be broken. The illusion of control is a dangerous one. Many believe they are in charge of their lives, only to be blindsided by unexpected events and crushed by unforeseen circumstances. True control comes not from manipulating the external world, but from mastering your internal state. When you can regulate your emotions, control your impulses, and focus your attention, you become impervious to the chaos around you. This is the essence of mental resilience, the ability to withstand any storm, to adapt to any challenge, to emerge stronger than before. It's not about avoiding adversity, it's about transforming it into an opportunity for growth. Every setback, every failure, every disappointment is a chance to learn, to adapt, to become more resilient. Don't waste your time lamenting your misfortunes. Instead, analyze your mistakes, extract the lessons, and use them to fuel your future success. The world is a harsh and unforgiving place, but with a disciplined mind and an unyielding spirit, you can conquer anything. Stop seeking validation from others. The approval of the crowd is fleeting and meaningless. True validation comes from within, from knowing that you are living up to your potential, that you are pushing yourself to become the best version of yourself. Don't measure your success by the standards of society. Define your own standards based on your values and your goals. Then pursue them relentlessly without regard for the opinions of others. There will always be critics, naysayers, and doubters. Ignore them. Their negativity is a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, who push you to be better. And most importantly, believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Self-belief is the foundation of all great achievements. It's the fuel that drives you forward when you're facing adversity, the anchor that keeps you grounded when you're surrounded by chaos. Cultivate it, protect it, and let it guide you to your destiny. The greatest battles are fought in silence. The struggles against temptation, doubt, and fear are invisible to the outside world, but they are the battles that truly define you. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate, every time you confront your fears, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are winning a victory that strengthens your mind and builds your character. These small, daily victories accumulate over time, creating a foundation of strength that cannot be shaken. Don't underestimate the power of consistency. Small, consistent actions performed over a long period of time will yield extraordinary results. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic breakthroughs. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and pushing yourself to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. This is the path to mastery. This is the path to self-dominion. This is the path to unlocking your full potential. Consider your mind a garden. If you neglect it, weeds will grow rampant, choking out the flowers of your potential. But if you tend to it diligently, cultivating the soil and planting seeds of positive thoughts and disciplined actions, it will blossom into a beautiful and bountiful oasis. The choice is yours. Will you let your mind become a wasteland of negativity and self-doubt, or will you cultivate it into a fertile ground for success and fulfillment? The answer lies in your daily habits. What are you feeding your mind? Are you consuming information that empowers you, or are you filling it with distractions and negativity? Are you engaging in activities that strengthen your mind and body, or are you indulging in habits that weaken them? Choose wisely. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Protect it, nourish it, and cultivate it with unwavering diligence. The rewards will be immeasurable. Don't be afraid to be alone. Solitude is not a sign of weakness. It's a prerequisite for strength. It's in the quiet moments of reflection, away from the distractions of the world, that you can truly connect with yourself, identify your purpose, and develop the mental fortitude to pursue it relentlessly. The crowd can offer comfort and validation, but it can also stifle your individuality and dilute your ambition. To achieve greatness, you must be willing to walk a different path, to stand apart from the herd, to embrace the solitude that comes with pursuing your own unique vision. Use your time alone to cultivate self-awareness, to analyze your weaknesses, and to develop strategies for overcoming them. Read, study, meditate, and reflect. Fill your mind with knowledge and wisdom. And most importantly, listen to your inner voice, the voice that guides you towards your true purpose. Remember, the unseen enemy is always within. It's the voice of doubt, the fear of failure, the temptation to quit when things get tough. It's the internal resistance that prevents you from achieving your goals and living up to your full potential. To conquer this enemy, you must cultivate self-awareness, self-discipline, and self-belief. You must be honest with yourself about your weaknesses, and you must be willing to confront them head-on. You must develop the mental fortitude to push through the pain and discomfort that comes with growth, and you must never, ever give up on yourself. The journey to self-mastery is a long and arduous one, but the rewards are immeasurable: a life of purpose, a mind of steel, and a spirit that cannot be broken. So embrace the challenge, sharpen your mind, and prepare for battle. The war is within, and the fate of your destiny hangs in the balance. The modern world is designed to erode your will. Constant stimulation, readily available distractions, and a culture that prioritizes comfort over challenge all contribute to a weakened mind. You must actively fight against this tide. Seek out discomfort. Challenge yourself physically and mentally. Resist the urge to take the easy way out. Every time you choose the difficult path, you strengthen your will and fortify your mental defenses. Learn to embrace delayed gratification. The rewards of instant gratification are fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. True satisfaction comes from achieving long-term goals, from overcoming obstacles, from pushing yourself beyond your limits. Develop a long-term vision for your life, and then commit yourself to achieving it with unwavering discipline and relentless focus. The world will try to distract you, to derail you, to convince you that your dreams are impossible. But you must never lose sight of your vision. You must remain steadfast in your purpose, and you must never, ever give up on yourself. Your comfort zone is a cage. It's a place where you feel safe and secure, but it's also a place where you stagnate and wither. To grow, to evolve, to reach your full potential, you must constantly push yourself beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. This means taking risks, facing your fears, and embracing the uncertainty of the unknown. It's not easy, but it's essential for personal growth. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your horizons, you develop new skills, and you increase your confidence. You also learn to adapt to new situations, to overcome challenges, and to bounce back from setbacks. These are the qualities that define a resilient mind, a mind that can withstand any storm and conquer any obstacle. So don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. It's the only way to truly live. The unseen enemy resides within, a constant barrage of negative thoughts, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs. This internal saboteur is far more insidious than any external foe because it knows your weaknesses, your fears, and your insecurities. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, that you should just give up. To conquer this unseen enemy, you must first acknowledge its existence. You must recognize that these negative thoughts are not your own, that they are simply a product of your past experiences, your conditioning, and your fears. Once you've identified the enemy, you can begin to dismantle its power. Challenge your negative thoughts. Question their validity. Ask yourself if they are truly based on reality or simply on your own insecurities. Replace them with positive affirmations, with empowering beliefs, with a vision of your future self. Visualize yourself achieving your goals, overcoming your obstacles, and living the life you've always dreamed of. This is not mere wishful thinking. It's a powerful tool for reprogramming your subconscious mind, for replacing negative patterns with positive ones. Furthermore, understand that your mind is a battlefield. It's a constant struggle between your higher self and your lower self, between your aspirations and your fears, between your discipline and your impulses. To win this battle, you must train your mind like a warrior trains their body. You must develop mental toughness, emotional resilience, and unwavering focus. This means practicing mindfulness, meditation, and other techniques that allow you to observe your thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. It means learning to detach yourself from the drama of your mind, to see your thoughts as simply thoughts, not as facts. It means cultivating a sense of inner peace, a stillness that allows you to make clear and rational decisions, even in the face of adversity. The stronger your mental discipline, the better equipped you are to handle stress, to overcome challenges, and to stay focused on your goals. The key to lasting change lies in consistent effort and unwavering commitment. Don't expect to overcome your inner demons overnight. It's a process that takes time, patience, and perseverance. There will be setbacks, there will be moments of doubt, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. But you must never lose sight of your vision. You must remain steadfast in your purpose, and you must never, ever give up on yourself. Surround yourself with people who support your goals, who believe in your potential, and who will hold you accountable for your actions. Seek out mentors, coaches, or therapists who can provide guidance, support, and feedback. Read books, listen to podcasts, and attend workshops that will expand your knowledge and inspire your growth. Remember that self-mastery is a lifelong journey, not a destination. There will always be new challenges to overcome, new obstacles to face, and new levels of mastery to achieve. Embrace the process, enjoy the journey, and never stop striving to become the best version of yourself. Learn to embrace delayed gratification. The rewards of instant gratification are fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. True satisfaction comes from achieving long-term goals, from overcoming obstacles, from pushing yourself beyond your limits. Develop a long-term vision for your life, and then commit yourself to achieving it with unwavering discipline and relentless focus. The world will try to distract you, to derail you, to convince you that your dreams are impossible. But you must never lose sight of your vision. You must remain steadfast in your purpose. And you must never, ever give up on yourself. Confront the narratives that hold you back. These are the stories you tell yourself about who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve. Often, these narratives are based on past experiences, limiting beliefs, or the expectations of others. They can be incredibly powerful, shaping your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without you even realizing it. To break free from these limiting narratives, you must first become aware of them. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your head, especially when you're facing challenges or making decisions. Identify the underlying beliefs that are driving these thoughts. Are they truly your own beliefs, or are they simply the echoes of someone else's voice? Once you've identified your limiting narratives, you can begin to rewrite them. Challenge their validity, question their assumptions, and replace them with more empowering narratives that support your goals and reflect your true potential. This is not about denying your past or ignoring your challenges. It's about choosing to focus on your strengths, your resilience, and your ability to create a better future. Cultivate self-awareness. This is the ability to understand your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's about knowing your strengths and weaknesses, your triggers and your motivations, your values and your beliefs. Self-awareness is essential for personal growth because it allows you to make conscious choices that align with your true self. When you're aware of your thoughts and emotions, you can control them instead of being controlled by them. You can choose to respond to situations in a way that is consistent with your values, rather than reacting impulsively based on your fears or insecurities. Self-awareness also allows you to identify your blind spots, the areas where you may be holding yourself back without even realizing it. By understanding your blind spots, you can seek out feedback from others and work on developing new skills and perspectives. To cultivate self-awareness, practice mindfulness, journaling, and other techniques that allow you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Ask yourself questions like, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? What are my values? What are my goals? What am I good at? What do I need to improve? The more you understand yourself, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the challenges of life and create a fulfilling future. Consider the story of a high-stakes poker player, someone who sits across the table from opponents who are not just trying to win money, but actively trying to dismantle them psychologically. This isn't a friendly game amongst amateurs. This is a battlefield of the mind where fortunes are won and lost based on the ability to control oneself and exploit the weaknesses of others. Imagine this player, let's call him the surgeon, not because he's cold, but because he's precise, methodical, and utterly detached when necessary. He spent years honing his skills, not just in the mathematics of the game, but in the art of reading people, of detecting the almost imperceptible tells that betray their true intentions. He understands that poker is not simply about the cards you hold, but about the story you tell with those cards, the illusion you create to manipulate your opponents into making mistakes. He studies their past games, their betting patterns, their reactions to pressure. He knows their financial situations, their personal lives, their fears and insecurities. He uses this knowledge not to intimidate, but to understand, to predict, to anticipate their moves before they even make them. The surgeon's true weapon is his emotional control. He can lose a massive pot, a sum that would send most players into a spiral of tilt, and yet his face remains impassive, his eyes betraying nothing. He breathes slowly, deliberately, maintaining a facade of calm even when his heart is racing. This composure is not simply a performance. It's the result of years of disciplined training, of learning to detach himself from the outcome, to focus solely on the process, on making the correct decision in each moment. He understands that emotional reactions are liabilities in this arena, that they cloud judgment and make him vulnerable to exploitation. His opponents, on the other hand, are often slaves to their emotions. They become frustrated when they lose, arrogant when they win, and fearful when they're bluffing. The surgeon preys on these weaknesses, subtly probing, testing their resolve, pushing them to the point where their emotions overwhelm their logic. He might make a seemingly irrational bet, not because he believes he has the best hand, but to gauge their reaction, to see if he can detect a flicker of fear or excitement in their eyes. He understands the power of deception, of misdirection. He might act weak when he's strong, strong when he's weak, constantly creating uncertainty in his opponent's minds. This constant pressure, this mental chess game, is designed to erode their confidence and force them into making errors. But the surgeon's strategy goes beyond mere manipulation. He also cultivates a deep understanding of his own biases and tendencies. He knows when he's prone to overconfidence, when he's likely to become impatient, when he's most vulnerable to emotional reasoning. He actively works to mitigate these weaknesses, to remain objective and rational even in the face of intense pressure. He surrounds himself with a team of analysts who provide him with unbiased feedback, pointing out his mistakes and challenging his assumptions. He also practices mindfulness and meditation to improve his focus and emotional regulation. The surgeon understands that psychological warfare is not just about attacking his opponents. It's also about defending himself, about building an impenetrable mental fortress that cannot be breached. This requires constant vigilance, constant self-assessment, and a relentless commitment to self-improvement. He treats every game as a learning opportunity, analyzing his decisions, identifying his errors, and refining his strategy. He never rests on his laurels, never assumes that he has mastered the game. He knows that the landscape is constantly changing, that new players are emerging, and that he must continue to evolve if he wants to stay ahead. The surgeon's success is not simply a matter of luck or talent. It's a product of relentless preparation, disciplined execution, and unwavering mental fortitude. He understands that the mind is the ultimate battleground, and that the only way to conquer the unseen enemy is to first conquer himself. This level of self-awareness and strategic thinking transcends the poker table. It's applicable to any area of life where you face competition, adversity, or high-pressure situations. The majority, however, stumble into the unseen arena completely unprepared. They are unaware of the subtle manipulations, the hidden biases, and the emotional vulnerabilities that can be exploited. They mistake confidence for competence and bravado for strategic thinking. Their egos are fragile, their emotions are easily triggered, and their decision-making is clouded by fear, greed, and resentment. They become predictable, reactive, and easily manipulated. They are the sheep led to slaughter, the pawns sacrificed for the greater good of their opponents. Their downfall begins with a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of the game. They believe it's purely a contest of skill, of intellect, of physical prowess. They fail to recognize the psychological dimension, the subtle interplay of emotions, perceptions, and beliefs that shape their own actions and the actions of those around them. They underestimate the power of suggestion, the influence of social pressure, and the impact of their own subconscious biases. They are blinded by their own arrogance, their own self-deception, and their own inability to see themselves objectively. They are trapped in a cycle of self-destruction, repeating the same mistakes, falling for the same traps, and blaming everyone else for their failures. This is the comfort zone of delusion. These individuals lack the self-awareness to recognize their weaknesses. They are so consumed by their own narratives, their own justifications, that they are blind to the truth. They cannot see their own flaws, their own biases, their own self-destructive behaviors. They surround themselves with sycophants who reinforce their beliefs, who tell them what they want to hear, and who shield them from criticism. They avoid uncomfortable truths, they deny unpleasant realities, and they cling to comforting illusions. They become echo chambers of their own self-deception, reinforcing their own insecurities and perpetuating their own failures. This is the quicksand of the mind, where the more you struggle, the deeper you sink. They fail to develop the emotional resilience needed to withstand the pressures of the game. They are easily rattled, easily frustrated, and easily discouraged. A single setback can derail their entire strategy, triggering a cascade of negative emotions that impair their judgment and lead to rash decisions. They become reactive, impulsive, and prone to making mistakes. They are like fragile glass, easily shattered by the slightest impact. They lack the mental fortitude to bounce back from adversity, to learn from their mistakes, and to adapt to changing circumstances. They are trapped in a cycle of negativity, spiraling downwards with each setback, each failure, each disappointment. The smallest spark can ignite a roaring inferno of self-doubt. Their strategic thinking is limited by their emotional biases. They are unable to see the bigger picture, to anticipate their opponent's moves, or to develop a coherent plan of action. They are too focused on their own immediate needs, their own immediate desires, to see the consequences of their actions. They become predictable, easily manipulated, and easily outmaneuvered. They are like chess pieces moved by a hidden hand, unaware of the grand strategy that dictates their fate. They lack the ability to think critically, to analyze information objectively, and to make rational decisions under pressure. They are slaves to their emotions, puppets of their own desires and victims of their own limitations. They cannot separate their feelings from the facts. These individuals refuse to accept responsibility for their failures. They blame their opponents, they blame the circumstances, they blame the universe. They refuse to acknowledge their own mistakes, their own shortcomings, their own contributions to their downfall. They become victims of their own self-pity, wallowing in their own misery, and refusing to take action to change their situation. They are trapped in a cycle of blame, pointing fingers instead of taking responsibility, and perpetuating their own helplessness. They are like drowning men, thrashing wildly and dragging others down with them. They are allergic to introspection. They lack the discipline to consistently execute their strategies. They are easily distracted, easily tempted, and easily swayed by their emotions. They start strong but quickly lose focus, lose motivation, and lose their way. They become inconsistent, unreliable, and prone to making impulsive decisions. They are like ships without rudders, tossed about by the waves of their emotions, and unable to steer themselves towards their goals. They lack the self-control to resist immediate gratification, to delay gratification, and to persevere through difficult times. They are slaves to their impulses, driven by their desires, and unable to control their own actions. They underestimate the importance of preparation. They believe that talent is enough, that skill is enough, that they can simply wing it and succeed. They fail to do their research, to analyze their opponents, to develop a solid strategy, and to practice their skills. They are like soldiers going into battle without weapons, without armor, and without training. They are ill-prepared, ill-equipped, and ill-fated. They lack the foresight to anticipate challenges, to mitigate risks, and to prepare for the unexpected. They are caught off guard, unprepared for the storm, and quickly overwhelmed by the forces that oppose them. Their laziness is their undoing. These are the cracks in the armor, the vulnerabilities that the surgeon ruthlessly exploits. He studies their weaknesses, anticipates their moves, and manipulates their emotions to gain an advantage. He uses their own flaws against them, turning their strengths into weaknesses and their weaknesses into fatal flaws. He preys on their insecurities, exploits their biases, and capitalizes on their mistakes. He is the master strategist, the psychological warrior, and the ultimate predator. The weak don't merely lose, they actively participate in their own defeat. The unseen enemy doesn't just attack, it finds a willing accomplice in the unprepared mind. The strategy to conquer this unseen enemy begins with brutal self-assessment. You must become your own harshest critic, relentlessly examining your thoughts, your motives, and your actions. Where are you weak? What are your automatic responses? What comfort zones do you refuse to leave? Identify your limiting beliefs, the self-imposed prisons that confine your potential. This is not an exercise in self-pity, but a ruthless audit of your internal landscape. Embrace the discomfort of acknowledging your shortcomings, for it is in this discomfort that growth resides. Deny the ego's need for validation and accept the truth of your current state. however unpleasant it may be. Only then can you begin to construct a fortress against the unseen enemy. Next, cultivate the art of detachment. Learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. Recognize that your feelings are not facts, but transient states of mind that can be influenced and managed. Practice mindfulness, meditation, or any technique that allows you to create a space between stimulus and response. This detachment provides clarity, allowing you to see the unseen enemy's tactics for what they are: manipulations designed to trigger emotional reactions and cloud your judgment. When you can observe your own mind with objectivity, you gain a significant advantage in the psychological battle. Develop a strategic mindset. Approach life as a chess game, anticipating your opponent's moves and planning several steps ahead. This requires foresight, discipline, and a willingness to delay gratification. Resist the urge for instant gratification and focus on long-term goals. Understand that every action has consequences, and that seemingly small decisions can have a significant impact on your future. Study the art of war, the principles of strategy, and the psychology of influence. Learn how to identify patterns, predict behavior, and manipulate situations to your advantage. Master the art of deception, not in the sense of outright lying, but in the ability to control the information you reveal and the image you project. Learn to conceal your true intentions, to mislead your opponents, and to create an illusion of strength. Understand the power of misdirection and use it to your advantage. Be unpredictable, adaptable, and always one step ahead. The unseen enemy thrives on predictability and vulnerability. Deny them these advantages by becoming a master of disguise, a chameleon who can blend seamlessly into any environment. Cultivate inner resilience. The path to self-mastery is not easy, and you will inevitably face setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. It is in these moments that your resilience will be tested. Learn to bounce back from adversity, to persevere through difficult times, and to maintain your focus on your goals. Develop a strong sense of self-belief, a conviction in your ability to overcome any obstacle. Surround yourself with supportive people who will encourage you and hold you accountable. Reject the negativity of those who doubt you, and embrace the challenges that will make you stronger. Embrace discomfort as a catalyst for growth. Step outside of your comfort zone regularly, pushing yourself to confront your fears and overcome your limitations. This could involve taking on new challenges, learning new skills, or simply facing uncomfortable truths about yourself. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the more resilient you become, and the less vulnerable you are to the unseen enemy's manipulations. Remember that growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, where you are forced to adapt, to learn, and to evolve. Become a student of human nature. Study the motivations, desires, and vulnerabilities of others. Learn to read body language, to detect deception, and to understand the subtle cues that reveal a person's true intentions. This knowledge will allow you to anticipate their moves, to influence their behavior, and to protect yourself from their manipulations. Understand that everyone has weaknesses, and that the unseen enemy often exploits these weaknesses to gain an advantage. By understanding human nature, you can better defend yourself against these attacks. Finally, cultivate unwavering self-discipline. This is the foundation upon which all other strategies are built. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses, to resist temptation, and to stay focused on your goals, even when you don't feel like it. It is the ability to delay gratification, to prioritize long-term success over short-term pleasure, and to hold yourself accountable for your actions. Self-discipline is not a natural trait, but a skill that can be developed through consistent effort and practice. Start small,